It is not a golden bit that makes one horse superior to others. No one should feel pride in anything that is not his own. Seneca. It's too bad, then, that nobody told that to Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z. This video is a brief look at Vegeta's pride, where it comes from, what's good about it, and what was broken, in how the Prince of Saiyans built his self-esteem. We'll analyze Vegeta's DBZ arc with some help from the Stoic philosopher Seneca, the Christian apologist C.S. Lewis, and apply the lessons of Vegeta's story to our own world. This is Geeky Stoics. Nobody likes a self-loathing person without confidence or dignity. In general, we tend to enjoy the company of and look up to people who like what they see in the mirror. They are self-assured, self-reliant, and don't rely on the approval of others. They have something resembling this thing called pride. The word pride, though, has gotten to be a bit loaded. Pride as a virtue is relatively new and has come to define American popular culture today, basically replacing all other notions of public virtue. According to the powerful, nothing is more important than loving yourself, coveting your power,
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
and obsessing over your innate traits as wellsprings of your identity. By innate, I of course mean something you were born with. You did nothing for it. Growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, this is how you might describe Vegeta, Prince of all Saiyans. Like most of his kind, Vegeta takes immense pride in his race and blood lineage. Stories of his homeworld and ancestors give him purpose and direction. We've all been there. My dad passed away recently, and almost immediately I felt the classic need to travel to his childhood home in California and then to Ireland or something to see where it all began. It matters a great deal to human beings to fit into a story and understand the chapter they are supposed to be writing based on what came before. But then you hit a wall. If pride is all that fuels you, if a story you didn't write is your engine, you're headed for an epic burnout. Vegeta hits this wall a few times as Goku surpasses him in power, such as becoming a Super Saiyan first on Namek. Despite not having Vegeta's so-called royal blood, Vegeta is broken down constantly and forced to build himself up again. The reinvention is what makes him more interesting to me than Goku. When his rival first passes him, Goku ascending to Super Saiyan, Vegeta starts running on rage. It does push him forward and over the line, and by the way, for more on anger, you should see this video. But that runs out, and Vegeta seems to turn a corner in recognizing his limitations, particularly after his defeat to Android 18, a total humiliation at the absolute peak of his Saiyan pride. Vegeta's fuel up to that point had been resentment, anger, and his pride about where he came from, but it couldn't keep pace with Goku or even Gohan because Vegeta can't see beyond himself. He lacks humility. For defining humility, I like to look to C.S. Lewis, who in Mere Christianity wrote, "Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less." In my book,
How the Force Can Fix the World,
Chapter 1 deals with some philosophical questions posed by Star Wars about humility and how you can define it by highlighting the difference between talents and gifts. Put simply, we shouldn't obsess with the traits that were gifted to us by virtue of being born. Health, athleticism, family, lineage, status. Gifts are given to you. You did nothing to deserve them. Awards are these things that are earned. Recognition is earned. Gifts, of course, are wrapped with a bow on top and handed to you by the grace of someone else, or I would say God himself. Vegeta has gifts. He has a history. He got to know his father. That's a huge gift. He has a determined personality. Despite being entitled, Vegeta is not lazy. These are all gifts. They come from somewhere beyond the self. Romans 12:6-8. We have different gifts, according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesize in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. you're supposed to put these things into action. When you think of something as a talent, you erase the part where you have no one to thank for it. For example, you may be a talented writer, but have you stopped to think about your earliest teachers or how your parents' hard work is what enabled you to get an education and learn to write in the first place? You're better off always reframing talents as gifts, because when we receive something for nothing, we tend to want to pass that thing on somehow, to pay it forward. This is the heart of humility. It's service and gratitude, and the acceptance of limits on your own power and know-how and self-reliance. It's everything that Vegeta finally experienced in the Buu saga, after fully embracing the heart of darkness awakened in him and brought forward by Babidi, and then stepping back from it to play a part in defeating Buu. It's an effort that I wish had been more successful. No one should feel pride in anything that is not his own. In a man, praise is due only to what is his very own. That's Seneca. If you're Vegeta, what is your very own? Trunks. Trunks made Vegeta proud. It was probably the most pure pride he ever experienced. A forward-looking pride based on something that was truly his, that he helped create. And it led him to sacrificial love, which is the whole reason Goku was always getting ahead of him in Dragon Ball Z. Goku's giving heart and righteous anger are far more sustainable fuel than what Vegeta had been burning since Frieza destroyed his homeworld. Pride, as C.S. Lewis noted, is an anti-God state of mind. It's a rejection of gratitude, humility, and service. It's no wonder at all that our mainstream culture is so obsessed with pride and power. At the same time, civic organizations and charitable community involvement continues its sharp decline across the nation. It feeds our anxieties, our fears, and our anger. Prideful people are angry people. Angry people become hateful people. Hateful people only suffer and spread their suffering to other people around them. This chain of events is, I think, the most important observation that George Lucas' Star Wars ever made. And it all begins with pride. So choose something else. Look up. Give thanks for what you have and give back. Do it enough and you might help create something in the world that is truly worthy of your being proud. Vegeta's story goes on in different iterations of Dragon Ball, but if you're of a certain generation, like myself, it all peaked in the Majin Buu saga with Vegeta's descent into hell and his ultimate sacrifice. His pride is reformed. He got there after a lifetime of being knocked down, broken, and getting back up again. If you were to take pride in one thing, it might be how well you get back up again after you've been smacked down. But even that, in my opinion, comes from a God who made you different than every person around you. Some people will have to struggle their whole life for the resolve to stick up for themselves even once, and that is where you come in. Their weakness is your call to duty. Your strength should be put to work in service of those who have none. You're unique. Listen for that whisper. Notice what you're good at from the earliest age when it's easiest to hear those whispers. It's what you were made for. And pride? Leave it behind. You don't need it.